Good morning, Alexis. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. So much changes since I see you in person till now. And look,
That's right.
The story with these stress tests still dominating the headlines is the U.S. government taking too much control of the situation with the banks.
Well, we're obviously going to learn a lot after the close today. We're going to see for the first time the results of the stress test. And look, I think we're going to see a couple of things. On the one hand, we're going to get a little bit more information on the health of these banks. And in markets, more information, more transparency is always a good thing. We're also obviously going to get a look at the process that the Treasury followed. You know, these 150 examiners that were running around doing the stress test, how strict were they? Did they do good work? That's going to be really important because it's going to give the broader American public a sense of how good a job Treasury is doing here. And there's obviously a lot of people talking about, is Treasury really on top of this thing? But, you know, we got to remember, at the end of the day, there's some variables here that nobody knows what they are. We do not know at the end of the day what a lot of this real estate paper is valued at that is carried on the balance sheets of these banks. And we do not know where this economy is going. You know, we're seeing some good signs out there, but the reality is that nobody knows. So there's still going to be a fair amount of uncertainty when we get those results today.
Are you concerned, Congressman, that this process is creating more uncertainty? I mean, things are getting fed out to the market without real confirmation. People are trading on rumors. I mean, how dangerous is that?
Well, people always trade on rumors, right? And there's never going to be perfect information in a market. But what we are seeing, we're going to see the results of these tests today, and I think that is, look, incrementally a little bit more information. People have been watching these banks very closely. So, yes, there's a little bit more information in the market. But do I think it makes things worse? I don't think so. You know, the reality is we're starting to see glimmers of hope out there, and it's too early to call a turn. But, you know, you were talking about the increase in the share price of some of the financials. It's been nothing short of staggering. Now, that, I will tell you, worries me a little bit, right? Expectations may have gotten a little bit out in front of reality here.
You know, finally, just before we leave here, we've sort of created the model that nobody's going to fail. I mean, it's in essence what Bernanke has talked about. Does that then change the scrutiny, the transparency by which we look at these between who is successful and who is not successful?
Well, there's no question that there were lots of people out there too big to fail, and that is something that I'm personally spending a lot of time on down here in Congress, and the Congress is very focused on. Look, at the end of the day, it's very, very dangerous to have any private entity, a bank, an insurance company, a Fannie Mae or a Freddie Mac, that believes it is operating with the backing of the United States government. That will lead to excessive risk-taking. That will lead to the expectation that the government and the taxpayers will always be there for that entity. One of the lessons of this whole catastrophe is that, you know, George Shultz put it very well. The reality is that if it's too big to fail, it's probably too big.
Great point. All right, Congressman Jim Himes, Democrat of Connecticut, as always, great speaking with you.
Thanks, Alexa.